Right, Battletech. When a very good friend of mine lived in Brisbane, and before sadly he passed away, we would play Battletech campaign mode. Now, my good friend Shane, he was a logistical wonder with what the effort that he put into the campaigns that we played. So I'm just going to share some of the material that we would keep. This is in the good old days of almost dot matrix printers, which I think were these dot matrix. I can't quite tell. The prints on these are quite good, so it might be. Who knows how I printed these back then. But we had drawn up lots of homemade sheets because we would just record the armor and the weapons and their structures, etc. This is obviously for aircraft, and off to the side we just had a little thing there. So we did that. I ended up doing some more professionally printed or created ones, so of which I've now, sadly, my little 3.5 disk drive, I think I threw them just recently, but yeah, so he created a wonderful, the effort that he put into our campaigns was exceptional. So this was for was Von Strang's world, and he had all this information. He told us, it was the planetary system data, the world, and then the military forces that were on the planet, and everything. So we had key locations, and then we had the forces. Now we used a modified version for the pilot and gunnery, where the piloting, so in other words, if it's a 4, that's the average, is the piloting, and then 0 is the gunnery, which means that there's no modifier to the dice. And rather than looking at your piloting 7 and your gunnery 6 or something, it's God, I've got to go back and have a look at everything again. I'm so rusty. But he'd done all sorts of things with strategic. And then this was my unit, McDonald's Marauders. So we've called here. I had 20 mechs when I went in, and ended up coming out with an additional 7. Must have picked up the pilots as well. Lost an aerospace fighter. I liked aircraft. I used quite a few mech busters in my games. Then we had some armoured fighting vehicles and some infantry platoons and things like that. And then we had the ammo dump, was how many rounds and everything like that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So this is not quite sure what this was in relation to. I've got all sorts of bits and pieces, but that was, I think, the last campaign I think that Shane and I played before he left for, I think it was Perth. I think he went to Perth, I think. But before he left, he gave me my folder with all my stuff in it. So, here we go. That's what I did here. Was this was the first incarnation. The better the others were that. This way we could have 4 mechs. We could control a lance on one piece of paper rather than referring to the data sheets all the time. So these were some of my later jobs, which were for included battle armor missiles and this. So we must have played Clan Invasion by the looks of it. Actually, I'm pretty sure we did. But all the information. Here's this is the stuff that I can't part with. Where he's given a summary of my unit, and so he's listed here all the things that myself as a pilot did. So, you know, what have we got here? 30th of August 3023 at the end of the contract. The unit kills got 1 in 7 combat. Unit losses were 8. Yeah, I lost a lot. And, you know, he even included things here, you know, like being promoted from Lance Corporal to Sergeant, and units sent to the periphery. So that was, you know, these were the, you know, the level of fun that we infused our games of Battletech with. I can remember that I would be sitting playing this, and I would have Shane's son Aidan would normally come sit on my lap while we were playing games. So there's all sorts of, you know, his son, now a young man living in Japan and married to a beautiful lady whose name escapes me at the moment, but you know, we had drawn up the sheets for the mechs that we had created, so that there was all sorts of information there. Then we had hang on, what have I passed? Have I passed something? Yeah, so each of the campaigns that we got to play in, you know, we'd record everything. Like even when we played, you know, he'd record, you know, the hits and everything. So we kept fairly rigorous paperwork, if you'd like to call it that. But then we grew up with the complexity of Avalon Hill and SPI games. So for us, this was bread and butter and didn't upset us at all. So yeah, these are all the notes. You know, it's just marvellous, you know, looking at it and then trying to remember the actual games, which sadly from so long ago I can't remember. Oh dear, it's so damn long ago. You know, obviously we play August 3030, so this is, you know, it's just really, really nice to know that, you know, I've kept all this material, and I think I'm going to have to sit down and try and put it into some sort of, you know, look at the amount of whiteout on all these sheets, you know, from mechs being replaced to pilots being replaced because they've bitten the bullet and things like that. So it's, you know, for me it's just a lot of memories and a lot of fun trying to remember what it was that I did. I think I'd affiliated myself for some reason with House Carita at that stage, because I had just started to work out how I could do trickery with I can't remember what the package was. Yeah, so anyway, I just worked out how to scan and to do things, and considering this is the late 80s, it's I think it's fairly impressive for me. So this was May 3050 was the final record, I think, of my stuff. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, as I said, our record taking was extensive. You know, we would keep all our records, all sorts of things in here. So much fun going back and having a look at just how badly I played, or how well Shane played better than me, which is probably the case. His dice, I think his dice were genetically bred to roll high, where mine just failed dismally. But yeah, so Merc Battle history for Innisphere. And when was this? This must have been towards the very end, because this is March '89. So I think that was fairly close to the last of the games with Shane. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But as you can see, so much. I've got to go back and redo these, because we had designed them that we had the armour on the left and the internals on the right, and consequently we just found it was easier just to mark off numbers than to colour in little tiny squares, or circles, sorry. Yes, I'm having a lot of fun today, aren't I? Yeah, so it's George's Grenadiers, that's right. I ran into Owen at one stage and played, I think, a few battles against him. Shane was very keen. We had quite a few people from Shane's circle that would play. So yeah, look, this is, I won't probably bore you with too much detail, but you know, we've got all sorts of material here. You know, the world's set up, and then there's a better version of what I'd done. So obviously an earlier one with you know, the ranges and pilot hits, how much heat. We had that if you were hit by energy weapons, your heat would go up. So we had included that at that early stage. So yeah, so anyway, look, this, I just thought I would share this, and you know, and wish that my friend was still here with us. I'm quite sure his family wish even more that he was still around. But you know, I'm quite happy to have all this wealth of old information of campaigns and that we played. You know, I never throw anything out, because for me everything has memories and they are worth remembering, particularly if you've shared them with people who meant a lot to you. So there you go, everybody. That is, I guess, just a brief glance into my love for Battletech. And if you've done something similar to this, or have, you know, campaigns that you'd like to share, look, please do. So till next time, thank you very much for watching. Signing off, the Honourable John.